Hey yo. 1 2 1 2. Amanda, you there?
I think so.
You sure you're there?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Call me old man Wade.
Damn you, old man! Wait.
Old ass man.
Shut up, old man. You smell like fart.
No!
Old man.
He's so old, he got a podcast on cassette.
Fuck, you're old.
Damn it, Wade!
And welcome to the Old Man Wade Show. I'm your host, the God of Stubborn, Old Man Wade. And I'm sitting here doing a two-man podcast with the CEO of Panda Care.
Hey.
What up, though?
Nah.
So shout out to Super Bowl Harvey and the lead guitarist Toya. They out doing whatever the fuck it is they doing. Harvey out there being busy. Toya out there relaxing after being a single woman, working a full-time job, busting ass.
No excuse. Sorry.
Yeah, we gonna talk our shit because y'all are here.
We are.
Where y'all at? Co-host and co-host? Yeah, I'm talking my shit. So what's going on, Amanda?
Same shit, different toilet.
Different toilet, same shit. So we had a conversation off air, and I was talking about we were talking about creating things and stuff like that, and that was difficult to like try to be someone who makes something or run a business and you're too busy looking at someone else's stuff to like be happy with your blessings. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was actually having this issue this week with my writing and the podcasting and all that. So I try my best to only listen to things that inspire me. You know what I mean? Like Joe Budden's podcast kind of inspired me because I get like the mental issues and shit that he's had. And being a famous person and then taking 3 years for him to actually get paid for his work. I dig that, you know what I mean? So, and I'm looking at it going, fuck, this is like, I'm on like year 4. Granted, it's only like year 1 of the solo one, but this is like year 2 or 3 of me podcasting in general. And I'm like, why the fuck ain't I getting paid? And then I'm doing my writing thing, and the writing was doing okay, but like I looked at someone else's, someone posted an article about Wolverine, and I read it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so damn good. I'm mad I didn't think of this. And I was like, motherfucker. And so then I get stuck in my head and I'm just like upset with myself. And I'm like, I ain't gonna beat shit. I'm like, ugh.
Being stuck in your head is the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
What was it? Lupe said, I'm locked inside a jail in me. I know that there's a cell in you.
You know, I've tried to get into Joe Budden's podcast and I can't.
It's funny because he's actually said, I don't know why the fuck women listen to me.
I can't get into it. Like, I've tried. I've seen so many people talk about it. You know, sometimes I just want to see what the big deal is, why so many people are into something, and then I give it a try and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. That's how I feel about a lot of like new rap.
That's how I feel about all the new rap. I'm good. I found out KRS-One was in town last night. If I knew that, I would have went to see him.
Well, KRS is like one of those, like, you know, people talk about like some of the greats, and they always forget KRS. And I'm like, yeah, he didn't sell the albums that everyone else does, but he's like one of the originators.
Right, him and his wife, Miss Melody, but she's gone. She's no longer here. But
she isn't?
She passed away.
Wow. Oh, I do remember. Damn.
Yeah.
And for someone as spiritual as he is, I'm pretty sure he's probably still like feeling stuff like that. The wind blows the wrong way, or smells something that like reminds him of her.
Right. I'm gonna have that one day.
I love the evil, sinister laugh after that too. And it wasn't even like anything like subtle. I'm gonna have it one day.
I am. One day somebody's gonna be like, "Yo, this wind smells like Panda," and I'm gonna just be blowing all through that. Like, yeah.
And the wind blows one way, and the guy goes,
Hashtag one day.
It smells of panda.
Yes. Panda, panda, panda. That's the sound the wind's going to be making as he's smelling it. It's going to be like, panda, 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 panda.
It'll be like an African drum.
Yes.
It's going to be like one of those, like the drums during the fighting ceremony in
Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yes, just like that.
Yo, you've seen Black Panther. When when Lupita Nyong'o was dancing on the boats on the way there, I was like, damn. I'm like, okay.
You know what? I'm through with you.
What are you through with me? What'd I do?
I'm through with you.
Look, all I'm saying is she was moving and she was moving like she could get it.
A lot of Africans dance very well. They have this footwork action that I'm just fascinated with.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I get it, and a lot of them dance well, and it's dope. But I was specifically looking at her.
I bet. I know. I get it. I'm done with you.
Shit, her and Letitia right.
This is why we're done.
What we done? What I do?
Nothing.
Look.
Absolutely nothing.
Look, man, my wife knows.
I know she knows, and she'd be like, whatever.
Yeah, she ain't stressing it. I will. Let me tell you, as much as I love Rosario Dawson, if she throw it at me, I'm running. I'm like, you can't have it. You can't have it.
Yeah, I don't see the big deal with her.
Oh God, I'm not having this conversation.
We've had this conversation before.
I'm not having it now.
No, we're not. We don't have to.
Anyway, so you actually had a dope topic. You can I'll let you introduce it since this is your thizzo.
All right. So one day I was bored out of my mind and I was scrolling through Twitter and I see this post. Toxic mothers can be just as bad or worse than absent fathers. Let's talk about it. That shit hit a nerve.
So you're a single mom.
Yeah.
Twice over.
Yeah. Depends how you look at the situation.
Huh?
Depending on how you look at the situation.
And so this is a sore spot because you obviously have like an intimate what's the word I'm looking for? I guess it's personal.
Yeah.
But it's funny when you sent it to me, I thought you were going to go the opposite way with it. I thought you were going to go with this being 100% wrong.
Why?
Because just being a single mom, I figured you'd be like, no, this was that's blasphemous. There's no way that's true. Blah blah blah.
Hell no! Mothers have such a huge impact on their children's lives, just as much as fathers do. I'm not gonna demote the role of a father being there either, but this post and then reading throughout the thread of how a toxic mother can be just as bad or worse than an absent father, that's legit. I mean, at some point in time I was reading through it, I'm like, it can actually be both depending on people's situations, but at the end of the day, it can definitely have some effect. I mean, you could look at it and be like, well, the absent father, they're not really there to put so much of an impact. So, of course, you get the things that you never got. But then when you have the person who is supposed to be there and supposed to do the nurturing and they're not nurturing you, or supposed to be, giving you some type of comfort, they're not comforting you. The actual fact that they are there to be able to do it can definitely be worse than the person who is not there consistently and not doing it. It's kind of like they're dead to you because they're not there. But then the person who is there physically and can do it isn't doing it. That shit can be worse.
So I can speak from a male's point of view. We've had, I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the podcast, but me and my mother we used to have an amazing relationship. I used to be able to talk to her about anything. And you know what I mean? And so one day, my little brother was born. I was in the 6th grade when he was born. And the biggest thing, and so my mother was upset with me and my dad about how she said we didn't help her while all the pregnancy was going on. One, I'm 10 at the time, so I don't know how much he expected me to do. But I also remember doing what I can, vacuuming, doing the dishes. I remember my dad cooking a lot, you know what I mean. And this is from a guy who worked 12 to 12 or 11
Your
to
dad
11.
cooked?
He could put stuff on the stove.
You know what though? But it's the effort.
Yeah, so
that shit's dope. I wish somebody would team up with me and be like, I'm a cook. I hate cooking.
I love cooking.
I hate it.
So, which is weird.
That's one domestic trait that I would pay someone to do.
I remember hanging out with you, on Sundays when you and your street would have the weekly block parties.
Leave us alone.
Nah, shit. I wish I
That's
had.
how we roll.
I wish I had that. And I'd stop by and it'd be you'd be in there cleaning Cinderella.
I wouldn't mind cleaning. I don't mind cleaning. I'll clean all day. Don't ask me to cook. Even though I cooked and brought you food, but don't ask me to cook.
Yeah, but you know what it is though. You know what I used to hate cleaning, but now that I have a speaker, put my music on blast, I don't mind cleaning.
My music is always on blast when I clean and cook because I have to. But
it's funny. When I'm cooking, I tend to I have to put something on in the background that I'm not really paying attention to because I'm so focused on actually cooking. it's funny because when I'm pouring a seasoning on there, like I like have to get like way deep into it and make sure that like I'm getting like every part. Like I'm deep with it. I love to cook. I love to cook.
okay.
I love finding new recipes. Like so, but anyway, that's the So just got off on a tangent. So
Nothing wrong with it. Come cook for me.
so
One
tell me
less
what.
thing I gotta do.
You got to do the dishes though.
I'll do the dishes. I don't like cleaning. I will clean all day. Just don't ask me to cook.
So so that's where the start of the bitterness. That's when the bitterness started. So this was 6th grade, and this is thankfully around the time I started hanging out with my grandmother more. Mm-hmm. We used to go. We used to have our. I used to go. She was like a 15-minute walk down the street. So I used to go hang out, watch movies with her. Then when I turned like 13, every Sunday we used to go to the movies with me, her, and my aunt. I don't remember a lot of things with my mom after that. You know what I mean? Between then and like high school, because we just didn't. Like I was busy hanging out with my grandmother, who essentially became my mother and is the way I am now. But the toxic relationship started when I started getting into like basketball. She wouldn't show up to any games. When I was singing in the church choir, she never heard me sing. But it was always an excuse on why they could or why they couldn't. So then as time went on, I moved out. Me and my mother got into a fight. And when I say a fight, I mean she pushed me and slapped me and I just walked out the door. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hit my mother.
Right.
And she became an alcoholic. I have a demon in my family, so it's one of the reasons why I try not to drink during the week. Unless it's a social setting, then I will. Otherwise, I don't drink during the week. And I've noticed that relationship with my my parents directly affected how. The relationship I had with my mother directly affected how I viewed a lot of women. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was like I would hear some of them say something and it would kind of rub me the wrong way. Or if like I see them doing something with their kids and it was just like, well, why aren't you like nurturing them? Why aren't you doing this stuff? Because it started becoming reminiscent of things that I saw. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then when I see a strong woman, it reminds me of my grandmother. Like, you know what I mean? They always say that like men end up with women like their mother. Like my grandmother's like my mom to me. Like, you know what I mean? I see a lot of those characteristics in Maria. Like, you know, the take no shit. Like she, there was just like last week, someone, one of these teenagers was talking shit to her, and she turned around and went, "What you say?" She was like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's some shit my grandmother would do. So like, you know what I mean? You find stuff like that. But I also know people when it's like you see like the relationships they have with their mom, and you look at it and it like directly affected how they are. But I wonder if it's, you know, let's say like mom's boy and daddy's little girl. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it affects. Do you think a mother's relationship affects a male more than it would a female?
I think it's equal. Girls need their moms to show them how to be a woman. Boys need their mom to show them how to love a woman or how to treat a woman. Or an example of a woman you should pursue. So a lot of men end up pursuing toxic women because they're accustomed to having a toxic mother. And a lot of females end up being trash because they had a trash mother. Like it's
a cycle.
It's a cycle. It is. It definitely is. And at some point in time, until these women check themselves, it's going to continue. Of course, it's a learned behavior. So until you can actually sit down and reflect and check yourself, you're always going to continue to do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you don't know better, you don't do better. So if you don't think what you're doing is wrong, you're never going to stop doing what you're doing.
That's true.
At all.
100% true.
And I hate this cliche, but birds of a feather flock together. If you're a trash person, you're going to hang around with trash people because trash people are going to promote your trash behavior. Whereas people who call you out, you're going to be like, I ain't fucking with you. What are you talking about? And you guys are always going to be at battle with each other because this person is able to call you out and tell you about the things you're doing wrong. And then you're going to backfall and they're going to backfall because you're not trying to do anything to improve yourself because you think what you're doing is okay. So therefore, the positive influences that you would have to change your behavior from being trash to being at least, you know, acknowledging, you know what, this shit is fucked up what I'm doing, let me change, those people are going to leave you alone.
Yeah.
So you're always going to continue to attract more trash. Because they're entertaining your bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're never really gonna learn.
Sleep with dogs, wake up with fleas.
Right. Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. So it's like,
Which is weird because I always look at it, if like the roles are reversed, they wouldn't want someone to be that person. Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't want... Like, I appreciate when people call me out on my shit because it's like, I can't get better unless I'm told better. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't get to let out this toxic energy, you wouldn't want that same energy in return, so why would you put it out?
but you're also in a place of learning. Not everybody is in that space where they want to learn. So it all depends on where you are in life to be able to take that in and digest that. Like, damn, let me sit back and really take into consideration what this person just said to me. And is my behavior really that bad? You know, people fail to realize that as a parent, you are their role model. They look up to you first. You're the first go-to for everything. If you are a toxic person, like if, especially moms, if there's no dad around, you know, your kids want to be able to feel comfortable that they can come and talk to you. And if they feel like that they can't come and talk to you, they're not going to. They're going to go to their friends who probably know just as much as they do. And then where they end up? Doing the same shit you doing because, or even worse, repeating the cycle because they can't even come to you and talk to you because you might downplay them. You know, they might do something successful, like graduate, but because you don't know how to love, because you weren't shown any love, you shoot it down like it's just, oh, you went to the corner store or something, or you just made your bed or something, like it's something minor. You can't do that. You can't downplay someone's accomplishments just because you don't know how to express that love to that person. That's toxic. If I come to you and I'm like, guess what? I'm about to graduate college. And you're like,
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
Like you're my mother. You're supposed to be one of the happiest, or proud at least, proud that I was able to accomplish this task. Not everybody could graduate high school, much less college. And you just like,
or at least put on a front. Like, you know what I mean?
something. You know, everybody else is out there congratulating me and wishing me the best in life, but the person who gave me birth, who gave me life, who brought me into this world doesn't even acknowledge that I've accomplished this task. And you're just like, the fuck? That's very toxic.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about it is, and it's like they leave scars that almost like never heal. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Of course.
like my mother said, "Oh, you get married in someone's backyard." I'm like, okay, so what if I was? I didn't, but so what if I was? Like,
Right, I'm getting married. Isn't that good enough?
yeah, you know what I mean? So
And it's crazy because having a toxic parent, a toxic mother, results in how you conduct relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship or a social relationship with just friends. That shit plays a huge part in that. Because if you don't learn from your parents how to love another individual, you won't know either. You're learning from pornos or just regular TV, and then the shit on TV isn't reality. So when conflicts arise, you don't even know how to handle them.
there's there's a Lupe Fiasco song called "Bitch Bad," and he talks about that exact thing. He goes, imagine a shorty maybe 5, maybe 4 on the internet, looking at videos, listening to songs on their own, and he goes, it doesn't matter if they have parental clearances, they understand the internet better than their parents. And he gets into it, and then the end of the song, he goes, he thinks she's a bad bitch. She thinks she's a bad bitch. He thinks of it disrespectfully. She thinks of it sexually. And it's just like this whole thing about like how they're seeing like a male looking at his mother who called herself a bad bitch and a woman who called herself a bad bitch. And they're saying the same thing about how like if he says to her it's disrespectful, but if she calls it herself, it's okay. And it's just like the double entendre of like the toxic energy that comes from like just seeing things like from a mother's perspective, like you said earlier, like we're supposed to be a place of love.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So like, and especially in the hood, especially in like people of color, it's already bad enough we don't get a lot of love and positive energy outside of the house. You should expect that the one place you should be able to get it at
is at home.
Yeah.
Right. You would hope so. You would think so. You know, it's crazy because even just reading through like the comments, what people had to say regarding it, and a lot of it is just the fact that they weren't encouraging, or they were emotionally shut off. And honestly, from speaking from experience, I feel like toxic mothers come from having to deal with the role of parenthood alone. That's just my opinion. I can be wrong. Other people have probably had different experiences. But for me, that's what I feel like. I feel like when the father is absent, they have to take on the role of everything in the house. And they just get so shut off from everything that's going around so that they don't have to focus on anything else except for providing. So sometimes it's not even intentional. It just happens. And even me being as a single mother, I have to check myself sometimes too. Like, I can't shut off my emotions towards my kids because I have to take care of everything by myself. I have to remember that, one, they're kids, so they do need reassuring. Who doesn't? I'm a grown-ass woman and I need assurance. You know, there's people, you need to reassure them that, you know, you're doing a great job. Even if it is something that they're supposed to be doing, sometimes people like to know that it's being recognized. And just hearing that, I see what you're doing a good job, keep it up. Do you know how magical that is?
Yeah.
Do you know how far that can take you in life? Do you know how getting a compliment like that from your mom, you're like, yo, my mom, she recognized that. She realized that. Yo, I'm doing something good. Yeah. And that makes you want to go and do it some more. But when you don't get that type of recognition from your parent, you're like, oh, they don't care. So why should I try? It's all part of being a better person, you know? So having a toxic mom or being a toxic parent isn't good to do. You got these single mothers out here who'll be like, oh, you ain't gonna be shit. You gonna be like your dad.
Oh.
Yo.
Yo, if I had $1 for every time I've heard that, it's like
it's horrible.
Like, why would you? Oh, like that hurts me hearing that shit.
Or
like,
you have parents who be like, if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have had you. The fuck? What? Granted, you might feel like that, but you don't tell your kid that. Being a parent is not easy. It's not.
And like you always tell me, it ain't for everyone.
It's not for everyone, and that's fine. But you don't tell your kid that. Regardless of how you feel about parenthood, you don't let them feel like they're a burden to you. Seriously? If I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have had you. How do you think that child is gonna feel after that?
Worthless,
like, damn,
unwanted. Because and not everyone. Because you hear the stories of like celebrities or people who come in power where they say, "I did this because the people close to me said I couldn't." But that motivation doesn't work for everybody.
It sure the hell doesn't. Tough love does not work for everybody. It doesn't. Some people, it motivates them to do harder so that they can have the last laugh at the person who said that they couldn't do it. And then for some people, they end up being what they said, what the person told them they were going to be. They wasn't going to be shit. So then they ended up not being shit. Like, if that's your mother telling you ain't going to be shit, you be like, all right, you know what? She might be right. She might be onto something. It all starts in the mind. It's a mind over matter for anything, for anybody. Whatever you believe is what is going to happen. So if you're constantly hearing you ain't going to be shit, then guess what?
You probably ain't going to be shit.
You ain't going to be shit. Especially if there's an absent father and you're comparing me to the person I don't even know. Of course I'm going to be like him. Let me just do what my mama said I'm going to do. I'm going to be just like my daddy. And then it just, like, it continues. Then you become an absent father in the relationship you're in, because you end up in this relationship, like we said, men usually date what their mothers are. So then you end up dating a woman that's like your mother, and then she's down on you, and then you leave her, and then it just keeps going over and over. So it doesn't just affect you as a regular individual, whether it be at work, it affects your relationships. And a lot of people in the black community, not everyone, but some, don't realize that this is a problem because they're accustomed to it and won't get help.
And I think we talked about this on the podcast about like the need for mental health. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, you know, buddy.
Mental health, spirit. Everybody wants to, like, you know, like, and God, I hate this one. Leave it in the hand of the Lord. Like, no,
bruh,
man. Like, yo, God helps those who help themselves. I'm not even a religious person, and I remember that. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm a PK, so you know how that go. And it's crazy when you're a PK and the pastor has some toxic behaviors that they don't even want to address.
Yeah.
You know, so.
It's just, it's weird that, like, we have this thing where it's like, don't get help. You should be able to deal with it yourself. And I'm a strong proponent of manning up, but I'm also a strong proponent of, like, yo, sometimes you just can't do that. Sometimes you need to lean on someone. Sometimes you do need to get in the shower and cry. Sometimes you do need someone to rub your back and go, it's gonna be okay.
You know how many times I tell people that? I hate when people be like, I don't need nobody. You lying. You using that as a coping mechanism, and you feeding that shit off to your kids, and then once again, the cycle continues. Stop telling your kids they don't need nobody. Yes, the hell they do. You saying that because you're looking for a way to comfort yourself because you don't have someone there and you wish someone was there. So continuing to tell your kids that and continuing to tell yourself that instead of recognizing the issue, like, yo, I really wish somebody was here right now. I really wish something, anything. Stop making it a circle and just passing it on from generation to generation. Everybody, like lately, I've been seeing these posts. Although it runs in a generation, although it's a family trait, this is where it stops. You got to break these generational curses. You can't keep passing on these toxic behaviors. At this time, in this day and age, there's too much information out there for us to not realize and recognize what we're doing wrong. As an individual, as head of households, as anything, as just whatever. We got to stop.
What's funny about it is, like, on a funny level, you hear the Chris Rock said when someone goes, I don't need another parent. He goes, I can do it by myself. And he goes, yeah, you can drive a car with your feet, but it doesn't make it a good fucking idea. And it's also the quote, like, no man is an island. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you absolutely have to have people in your life that are going to help you. Like, you need people
to encourage, to inspire, to motivate, all of that. When you're having your down moments, people to lift you up. Even an island needs something. An island needs water all around it to be considered an island, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay then. So everything needs someone, something there to make them feel relevant, to make them feel important, to make them feel wanted, needed. And sometimes I think people settle and get that from whoever or whatever is giving it to them, and then it may not be in the best way, and then they end up back in the toxic situation again because they're looking for it from wherever. I've heard people say, you know, my mother wasn't around because she had to work, so I was looking for love, and this is how I ended up with doing this, or I ended up doing that. But the fact that they were able to recognize that and actually try to change it is a plus. But the fact that, you know, it started off because their mother wasn't there.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I hear females say, you know, if my dad was around, I would have been able to know this, that, or the third about men. Same situation. But again, most of the time, the toxic behavior comes from having a toxic mother because she's the one who's predominantly there. Society makes it that women are supposed to be the nurturers and the caregivers, and so when you have a boo-boo, she kisses it and tells you, oh, it's gonna be okay, let me fix that for you, instead of, why don't you man the fuck up? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Society makes it that you have to man up. What if I don't feel like manning up? But if that's all you've been told all your life, especially by the person who gave you birth, you don't know any better.
Which is, again, like we said before, it's a damn shame that is the way it is. Actually, one of my homegirls, she told me to put her name out there, but she goes, my mom is completely emotionless. She honestly has been through a lot, but lacks any empathy and cannot fathom that anyone else suffers. She constantly plays the victim and will twist everything to make everyone else the bad guy and her the good guy without taking any responsibility.
Yes, that is horrible. For you to always feel like you're in the right way, you can never apologize to your kids and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Your kids need to see that you're a human, that you're not just this brick wall that has legs and an arm and a mouth to move and talk. You have to be able to, so that they can know that it's okay for them when they mess up to apologize to people. Because again, it becomes a cycle. If you don't show your kids, like, I'm your mom and I can apologize and recognize that I did something wrong, when they become an adult, they're not going to be able to recognize that either and apologize to people like, you know, let's talk this out. Because they were never taught how to talk it out.
Yeah. But why is that such a thing where you have, why doesn't the cycle end after the first try? Like, knowing how this made you feel when your parent did that, why would someone else still put that on there? Like, I know the phrase that, like, say, like, hurt people, mm-hmm. But why is that?
Because they don't know no better. Misery loves company. If you're hurt, I'm going to hurt you so you can feel how I feel. I don't want you to be happy because I'm not happy. Duh. Like, what do you mean? Hurt people. Like, it's because, and then they also probably have that mentality, I don't need anyone, so they don't need anyone to try to talk to and try to make them see the brighter side to things. So instead, they'd just rather push their feelings onto someone else and let it continue. It's so much easier to be upset and to be angry and to be, to be quote unquote in your feelings instead of addressing it and fixing it. It's way easier to be negative than to be positive.
Absolutely.
It's way easier to just indulge in the bullshit. And people encourage negativity. It's crazy.
But they'll never actually promote the positive.
No, they won't. And it's insane. Last week, I had the most shittiest, not even last week because we're still in the week, the shittiest week ever. And I would get to work, I'd be around people, and I'd be like, hey, good morning, how you doing? They're like, why are you so happy? You get some? No, I'm actually dealing with a lot of shit right now. But I'd rather be happy instead of just
walking around with a scowl
mellowing in my sorrows. Like, can you not fuck that up for me? Like, I'm on a wave right now, B. Why are you trying to take that away from me?
Yo,
like,
stop cutting the water out my way.
Right, like, why you want me to come in here all miserable and grumpy? I work with kids all goddamn day. All day. And then still got to go home to my own. And I'm trying to come up in here with some positivity, shed some light on this rainy day, and you want to bring my shit down? Really? Really? So you want me to sit here and dwell on what the hell's going on right now instead of coming in here like, hey, what's going on?
I've actually made a vow recently that I'm no longer posting any negative political stuff on Facebook anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm like, if you want to know how I feel about it, listen to the podcast. Like, that's what I'm
Well, hit me up. You want to know what's going on with me, how I feel about this? Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast about it.
But yeah, come to the house. I'll bring beer. You bring something else, and we'll call it a day.
Oh, we all bring beer.
Well, you always bring something to the table.
Right,
but it kills me. So it's like I've gotten to the point. I'm like, I don't want this to be the person. I don't want so someone like friend requests me because they heard the show. I don't want the first thing for them to see is negativity. Right. If someone's having a bad day, I don't want the first thing for them to see from me is me bitching and complaining about something. So I'm still gonna complain. I'm still gonna do that. But I'm gonna try to go back to the point where it was like I'm gonna add a little sugar to the medicine. So if I'm annoyed by something, I'm gonna add a funny picture. I'll make a joke about it. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's just I can't be that guy. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm already angry enough just walking around any day. I'm like, you know what I mean? I gotta keep the Hulk in. Like, you know what I mean? Just get walking around being angry.
It's just like in the field that I work in, working with kids, they always say, like, if you need to talk to the families, always start off positive and then go into whatever the negative behavior the child did and end on a positive note.
Yeah.
That's life. That's what you should do in life. Like, I do my best. I know I've definitely failed at not posting negative shit on my social media, but it happens. Sometimes I give in to the negativity and be like, fuck how you feel. I don't give a shit. This is my fucking page. You don't like it? Delete me. Unfollow me. I'm going to post this, and I don't care who you run and tell. And then I check myself like, damn, now you know better than that, Manda. Take that shit down. And I'll be like, I fight with myself. I ain't taking shit down. I definitely have these conversations in my head. I kid you not.
Oh, I do too.
I'd be like, I ain't taking shit down. Fuck them. Fuck them. They did it. They deserved it. I got the patience of fucking Job. They made me do it. They made me fucking put that post up. Fuck them. Fuck them. And then I'd be like, and then Amanda would be like, stop it. And then, Veronica would be like, because these are their names. There's Amanda, who is, the one that's transitioning. There's Panda, who's the loving, caring one, and then there's Veronica, who'd be like, fuck them. Veronica be like,
Veronica walking around.
We don't like Veronica too much because
Veronica walking around like the Black Queen from fucking Celine from fucking X-Men in like stilettos and an all black fucking corset.
Veronica is Mystique. Veronica is Mystique from X-Men. She transforms into different shit. She's like your fantasy with horns coming out. So yeah, that's the type of shit Veronica be on. She's like, I'm gonna fix you. But anyhow, I do my best to inspire and shit. And I get a lot of people that be like, yo, your post really inspired me today. Like, it put me in a better mood. And I'd be like, really? You know, because I was feeling shitty and I just want to make somebody else feel happy. That's what I try to do. When I'm in a shitty space, I try to be positive. So, because you never know who you're influencing. And I get texts and people be like, yo, you're such a positive person. Man, if you only knew why. If you only knew what I was going through right now. So sometimes it ain't even for them, it's for me too, you know. But it starts, you got to start somewhere. You have to break the cycle of always just being negative and being toxic and not wanting to spread that. It's ridiculous, even though it's easier to do.
But you know what? A lot of it is sometimes. I think it's sometimes you want to get this negative energy out, so you throw the negative energy out there. What I've noticed is, like, if I throw some positive energy out there, it works just the same. Like, if I find some really goofy picture in there and I'll go, hey, here's a picture of Thor riding a shark in space. Like, you know what I mean? It, like, seeing people laugh at that makes me happy.
I just visualized it and started to laugh in my head. But again, it's because birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
So you might be in a negative feeling or in a negative vibe, and people are gonna flock towards that.
I just showed them a picture of Thor riding a space shark.
Because they're feeling negative, and then you post the positive stuff, and you're gonna get the people who fuck with positive shit. So again, it's all on where those people are in that particular space. Birds of a feather, they definitely flock together. I don't care what people say. At one point in time, I didn't believe in that. I used to be like, that's not true, blah blah blah, this and that's not right, but it's true.
It is.
It is. If you're feeling mad, negative, and under the weather, you know exactly who to call that's going to entertain your bullshit. Be like, oh, yeah, I feel you. Let's do this and let's do that. And then when you're feeling positive, you know exactly the people who you can reach out to, because they're going to be like, you know, let's talk about this. Let's reflect on this. What can you learn from this? What did you gain from this? If you were to do this, what will you lose? You know? You know where to go for that type of...
You know what's funny? I don't know where I fit on the spectrum, because sometimes I'm with the fuck shit. Depending on how hurt... Depending on how hurt the person is, I'm like, so do I need a shovel or do you need an ear?
Listen, I am exactly the same way. Someone would hit me up and I would tell them immediately, like, look, I'm not in a good space. So I might entertain this bullshit today, but tomorrow I might not be with the fuck shit. So if you want to ride out this mission, we better do this shit now. And then when you put the fire under somebody's ass like that, they switch it.
Yeah.
They be like,
like, oh, she really about to go do this.
She really about this life.
So, funny story about that. Me, Diddy, and Jeff were all at Diddy's house one day, and something happened, and he goes, yo, we gotta take a ride. We didn't even question it.
Listen.
All we did, we got up. We
and just got in the car.
Just got in the car. That was it. That was it. We were quiet for a little while, and they was like, yo, what you need me to do? That's all it was. And that's all it was.
I used to be the go-to. Okay? Because they knew I was riding it out. They knew. Like, yo, get dressed. I'm outside. You ain't got to tell me twice. At one point in time, I didn't even think about the fact, like, I got kids. Or a kid, because I probably wasn't with the too much of the fuck shit when I had the twins. But, you know, when I was 19, I was with the dumb shit. You call me, be like, I'm outside. I'm coming. And don't let it be a weekend. I didn't. Don't let it be a long weekend. I wasn't thinking that the judge wasn't coming into a Tuesday. I'm with it. Yo. You don't even got to tell me what happened. I'm in the car in all black, like the Omen. Cause you know, that was my girl back then. But
yo, it's funny because like that's how you get with your friends. And like there was one time, and this person remained nameless, but I think they listened, so they'll get the joke. They hit me up. I was like, all right, do we need me to go with? He goes, nah, I just need you to say that I was with you.
Listen, I sent a text out like that to my friends, and it was a meme that I seen on social media, and it was like, a detective is going to call you. Whatever they ask you, tell them I was with you yesterday at 12. And I had friends that was like, bet. Listen, that shit right there, I bet you if I was to send my mom or something like that, she'd be like, let's read Psalm such and such and such.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Right, I don't want to hear that right now. Stop fucking up my shit. Just say I was with you. So.
Man, listen. Because, okay, here's my thinking with shit like that. I'm not going to say I'm a calm person. I can be. My demeanor, people normally are shocked when they see the angry side of me. But then when they see it, they go, oh, that makes sense. That's why he's so calm all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
I tell people that all the time.
So there's been times where like something happened with Marie. Yo, I'm not sure if it was a nurse or a doctor, but Maria had to come home and tell me that to make sure this dude wasn't at work. Because I was going to wait outside this dude's car and throw him through a fucking window.
I remember you telling me the story.
Yo, I was going to whoop his ass. Like, things that happen to me, I'm good. I have a phrase. I've been called worse by better and better by worse. So the shit you say to me ain't gonna affect me. But if you fuck with my friends, oh, we got a problem. You fuck with my family and the people I love, yeah, we got a problem now. You know what I mean?
I remember when I was a kid, my mother used to always say to me, I don't leave you by yourself or anywhere because you never know when someone's treating you wrong. I've always been like a person to let shit slide, cool, calm, collect, the peace person, like, oh, come on, look on the brighter side of things, or why don't you just talk it out with this person? And I don't know if I do know. I got that from my mom because she would take in a stray dog. So I don't know if that is a good thing or a bad thing, that it takes a lot for me to be over the top. But then when I get over the top, people be like, why are you so extra? What you mean? Do you not realize how much shit I just put up with before you made me go be extra? And I definitely...
I'm gonna crack a beer on that.
Crack it. So I don't know.
Why you
Sometimes
so
I
extra?
wonder if
Fuck
that's a toxic thing or not. Like, is that a good trait to have or a bad trait to have? That I have so much patience to deal with so much bullshit that I learned from my mother. But then on the flip side, my dad, who was definitely, I wouldn't say he was an absent father, but he was a weekend dad, and his temper is insane.
Your dad strikes me as someone, like, I can look, you know how sometimes you can look at someone and tell there's like a storm brewing? Like, I look at your dad and I'm like,
he's a ticking time bomb.
yeah, like, don't, like, he just went, I'm like, don't fuck with him.
And I think that's why he went into the service, because he was a ticking time bomb and could probably use that shit as an excuse and get away with it.
Maybe, but hey, you
He'll tell you now, he'd be like, I'm old. I'm not dealing with these young kids who don't know how to fight with their hands. They fight with guns.
And that's another thing, like, I don't, I'm 30, I'll be 36
in November.
I'll be 36 in November. and like, I don't know what happened, but now all of a sudden, like, I got this, like, you know what it is? I have been letting shit slide for so long that now I'm just like, nah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm ready to take someone's fucking head off. And it's funny because I said to someone, now all of a sudden, people want to be like, oh, now you weren't normal like that. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I was keeping this energy built in so it wouldn't hit you. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's been almost 2 years since I have punched anything out of anger. Like, just don't. You know how I used to just call off and just punch walls and shit like that. It's been 2 years since I've done that. I'm good. So I was looking something up to you talked about your mother said not knowing when someone's good or bad. So it reminded me of this comic book
When
story.
someone's treating me bad.
Some comic book. When Sandy was 5, she saved her snack time graham crackers to feed a starving dog that lived in the woods in her Ohio home. The dog promptly ate the crackers and bit her hand. 2 days and 7 stitches later, the mother found her again trying to feed the same scraps to the exact same dog. Her mother yelled at her, "Where's your scent, Sandra? That's the same dog that bit you." She replied, "But mother, he knows me now."
Shit.
But like, and that's really how it is sometimes.
It is.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, now you know me, like, so maybe you won't do this again. But again, that's, back to the toxic energy. Like, you're trying, and again, it's funny, that toxic energy could also build positive energy that isn't necessarily directed in the right places. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that the positive energy, recently, I said this to Diddy, all this positive energy I'm giving out to the world, I'm giving it to the wrong people.
No. And this is when I have to check people. Not to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off. I don't care if I'm being toxic or not. I'm going to cut you off.
But it's my show.
I'm going to do goddamn. It doesn't matter who you're giving it to. You're going to get it back.
Let me rephrase.
Okay.
I'm positive. People should get the positive energy regardless of what's going on. But I spend a lot of time supporting people. I share links. I talk when someone's like, "Oh, I need a babysitter." They hit my homegirl Amanda. Like, you know what I mean?
Pin
You know what I mean? So someone's like, "Oh, I need someone to do this." Like, "Oh, I need a writer." Oh, you want to write? Hit my boy Diddy. He has a website you can write for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? So I try to promote the people who are close to me. I get upset when I put out energy to people and it's not reciprocated, and I need to check myself and going, "You're not doing this for them. You're doing it for yourself." Sometimes you can do things that are right and still do them for the wrong reasons. Like, sometimes, yes, I do help people specifically to make myself feel better. It is selfish.
No, I don't think that's selfish at all. Because I do the same thing, but it's not. It's because I might be in a bad place, but I know that if I can give someone else the help that they're looking for at that time and see them smile, like genuinely smile, and I know I don't want anything back from them, it's a genuine act because you really want to make this person feel better. And then once you see that person is in a better space, it makes you feel better.
Yes.
One, you're not getting anything in return except for them being happy. Two, you just made yourself feel better by making someone else feel better. So it's not selfish. I mean, it can look selfish because you are doing the act so that you can feel better. But what if they didn't feel better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they appreciated it. Like, you know what? I appreciate it. You tried, but I just need some time.
Yes.
But the fact that you were still positive instead of being negative when you were feeling shitty, that's where it's not a selfish move. Do you get that?
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Right. Because you could have been negative with that person feeling negative and just made more negativity.
Yeah. You get this hurricane of
yeah.
The storm of like negative energy that ends up fucking everybody up.
Right.
You know, okay. This is a story I want to tell you because it's not on the same line, but something you said reminded me of it. So this person will remain nameless. We were talking about Fuckboy 45 and how
Fuckboy 45.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
So, and we were talking about like people who voted for him and all that, and there's this dude, a guy of color, Christian, who voted for him. And when he was asked why you voted for him, he goes, "Oh, because I don't like Muslims."
What?
Dog, you are a man of church. You're a man of the church, and your reasoning was out of hatred for another person in their feelings of God, of their God.
You know this is why I don't go to church, right?
So the reason my reasoning for not going to church, a lot of it has to do with I don't feel like getting up early on a Sunday.
No, no, I don't even care about that because I'm a morning person. I don't do religion because one, I feel like, no disrespect to the religious people that are out there that don't follow this, it's not towards you. If it's not towards you, don't worry about it. But for the majority of the religious people that I have come across, it's insane how they don't like this person or they don't like that person because of the life they choose to live. So the last time I went to church, the pastor, this was around the time Obama was in office, and he made rights for gays.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. There's still people at the end of the day. I don't care what y'all do in y'all
Love is
personal
love.
life. Right. And the pastor was talking about how Obama is losing the race because he's allowed gays to have equal rights. And I'm like, hold up. Ain't y'all whole religion thing about not having the church and the state mixed? This is a man of the state. He is not coming to the state as a man of God and delivering messages. Why y'all combining the two? So you got a problem with him because of what he's doing for the country when he's not a bishop or something that he's trying to do something for the church. Why y'all combining the two? That was the last time I went to church. And I won't go back for that because... And then when I went home, and I went to church that day with my mom. And when I went home and I was like, I'm not going back. And I told her why. She was like, well, you know, this, that, and the third. And I was like, do you not realize that just because someone might be doing something you're not crazy about does not mean that they still don't serve God or worship God or still have a religious belief. Y'all making people feel uncomfortable to want to go to church. And y'all supposed to be a people of love. Who cares what they do behind closed doors? They didn't kill nobody. They ain't lying to nobody.
The funny thing about it is, it's like they're promoting love.
Supposed to.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like marriage.
Okay.
They want equal rights for their love.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Why should two people who love each other, why shouldn't they have the right? And it's funny because I know with a lot of people, it has nothing to do with necessarily religion. Because church is a hustle. I mean, that's church. Marriage is a hustle. That's all it is. One of the biggest reasons why.
In a way, it depends why you get married. But
But no, I'm not talking about the actual ceremony and the marriage, all that. I'm talking about the way the government takes it down, where it's just like you have to fill all these forms out, or technically you're not married according to the state. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about the actual like spiritual reason for it. You know what I mean? But one of the reasons why me and Maria got married, other than like, you know, the love and all that, was if something happens to me, no one knows what I want better than her.
Right.
I don't want my mother making these decisions.
Because she's not.
She don't know me. She doesn't know me like that. Like, you know what I mean? So, but if we didn't get married, Maria can't make those decisions. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? What was it? Was it Sandra Levy with the whole thing where she was like on life support, and her husband was saying one thing, or her boyfriend was saying one thing, and the parents were saying another thing, and it was like this big legal issue on what to do with her, but she was on life support. I'm like, yo, y'all are really, this is like a news story. This shouldn't be a news story. This should be, the person closest to them should be the one making these decisions. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
P.S. For everybody listening, if y'all close to me, if I'm on life support, pull the plug. Don't make me suffer. Go ahead.
That's who I am. I'm like, she's in the medical field. So if something like that happens, I know she's going to look at things and go, it's, you know what I mean? Like, if there's a small chance Mark doesn't want, and I know Mark doesn't want to be on life support as a vegetable. So
Nope.
pull the plug.
DNR. Do not resuscitate. Let me go. Listen, I don't got to pay no more bills.
Yeah. I've said, like, I was like, look, take my organs.
I don't know if I want to be an organ donor. But then again, I might as well be, since it's going to be a DNR. Because usually, I feel like, this is just my opinion, when you have the organ donor on your ID, I feel like they let you die so they can take your organs.
Or they try to convince the person, like,
let him die
You know,
so we can use his good heart or his good kidney.
oh, they ain't getting a good kidney or a good liver out of me.
Oh,
And your lungs are fucked.
nah, you don't smoke. You good.
No, yours.
No, I don't smoke either.
What do you roll with?
I'm a drinker. They might not get a good liver, but
Ugh.
my lungs are good.
Oh, your lungs are good? Okay, my
Hell
bad.
yeah.
My bad. My
This
bad.
is not health class.
Oh, so my liver and my fucking lungs are done. Good luck with that. And shit, like, granted, I don't eat pork the way I used to. Good luck getting a good heart out of it. Actually,
Yeah.
no. When it's so funny, my heart's actually pretty good. I went to went to the doctor. They was like, they took an EKG of my heart. Heart's strong.
Yeah, I'm pretty healthy.
And I'm stat.
That part.
You know what's funny? I was talking to Maria about this yesterday, and I was saying to her, even when I get rid of all this fat, I'm never gonna get under like 220, 230.
You never know.
No, there's just too much muscle under this. Like, there's too much. Like, and that's heavy. Like, you
So
know.
just do cardio.
Nah,
But you know what, though?
I like lift weights though. I like.
That's another thing that I don't know for you, but we weren't taught growing up. We weren't taught how to eat healthy.
No. Yes and no. I didn't. I was told not to do things, but it was never given a reason why.
Nah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, for me, it was like one veggie, one meat, one grain.
Nah. We didn't have that shit. Everything was fried. Like, the seasonings was off the hook. You know,
Oh,
probably
yeah.
the healthy and the salt. The healthiest person I probably knew was my grandmother. She could fuck up an avocado. She would take some tomatoes and put some salt and pepper on it and tear it up. She'll get some cucumbers, she'll throw some vinegar on that shit and just eat it. And I would look at her like, ugh, how do you do it?
That shit sound amazing.
But, right, as an adult, I fuck with it. I would definitely take a cucumber, put it in some vinegar, some pepper on it, and that's a snack.
So funny, Maria finds it funny that like a lot of times I don't need salad dressing for my salad. I like to taste the vegetables.
I need salad dressing. I ain't
So
gonna do it.
like I make some bomb roasted Brussels sprouts. Do a little olive oil on them, cut them in halves, put them in the oven, let them shits brown, blacken and brown. Off the chain.
They are pretty good when you roast them.
I've learned how to like stir fry a lot now, so I know how to stir fry asparagus.
So
Yo.
I learned about Brussels sprouts from my homegirl Candace.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Candace. I think I learned about asparagus. Who taught me about asparagus? This girl, one of my coworkers, Amy. She put me on to Parmesan asparagus.
What?
Pretty dope. It's dope. I'm gonna show you the recipe for it. That's pretty dope. Shout out to Amy, losing all that weight, baby girl. I see you.
I see you.
Some other vegetables, like I can't rock with tomatoes unless it's cooked.
I
hate avocado.
I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked by that. I'm shocked.
Passionately. Do not give. Oh, I'm lying. I can only have avocado if it's in sushi.
Okay.
Only because it's a mind over matter thing. I can't have no big piece of green looking thing. You know why I don't eat anything green and smushy? Because I work with kids for too long.
Oh.
I won't eat nothing green and smushy. I can eat spinach as long as it's not cooked. Because spinach, green and smushy. I ain't eating it if it's cooked.
Oh, but you can eat it. But you can eat it like
if
straight.
it's raw,
Okay.
I'll eat it.
I like spinach.
I like spinach.
You know what kind of annoys me about cooking spinach though? You think you have a lot of spinach in there,
And then when you cook it, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
The only way I can eat cooked spinach if it's in pasta.
that's different though. It's again mind over matter because
Mind over matter
so
because
much stuff
everything
in it,
else
yeah.
is there. See, just like the avocado.
See, I didn't like avocado until I had it in a till I cooked steak tips and I put it in a salad. Like steak tips with avocado is fucking bomb. Chicken like piece of chicken with avocado, bomb.
But again, it's with something. It's
Exactly.
not just
I just can't eat like an avocado. Like I don't really fucks with guacamole. Like,
Me
you know,
neither.
Like you know what I mean?
as
Like,
a dip, nothing. It's
No.
gross.
but what is this shit? You was gonna say something? So tomatoes. I like I can have tomatoes in a sandwich. I can have tomatoes in a salad. I just can't eat a tomato. I've always liked cooked tomatoes though. So like I'll take the can. Oh, and I love the canned tomatoes that's like in like basil or garlic or the spicy roasted one, and I throw that in my stir fry. Duh, yo, and I throw it in there, so like all the chicken absorbs all the
I can eat tomatoes if it's in a chili or in saltfish. I can't eat it by itself. It's just weird. It's smushy, squishy.
So is it just a texture? Is it
I think
texture?
it's a texture thing. I don't like anything squishy.
You don't eat mushrooms either, right?
No. But if it's cooked into something and cut up, I can eat it. Same thing with onions. I don't like onions.
You don't like onions?
No. And I don't like spicy food. If you can cut up the onions and cook it into the food, I can eat it. As a kid, I used to pick the onions out the food before I ate. My father used to be pissed off. My grandmother, pissed off. Like, I would sit there and separate it one by one. No lie. Like I had OCD. Take that shit out one, and then I would search the food. There would be white rice with white onions, and I would separate each rice grain and make sure there was no onions inside because I was not eating it. And I would take it out one by one. My father used to be like, "You're taking the best part of the food out, Daddy. I'm not eating this." I wouldn't eat the onions, and there would be one pile of onions on one side of the plate, and he'd be like, "Get that to me. You're not gonna waste no food." Da-da-da-da.
And he would just take all that shit.
He would
straight
take
right
all
on-
the onions
straight
and
right
eat
on.
it just like it was nothing.
I used to eat raw onions. Like my mother used to make
I
them, and I would
cannot.
just and like so she would have like you cut them in like little sort of like the layers, like little skinny layers. I used to just pop onions. I like
No,
onions.
not doing it. Sorry.
Is it okay? Is it a I don't want to say a black thing. Is it a person of color thing to put garlic on everything?
No, because I don't like garlic on everything.
What?
No, see, so what I do with my garlic is I blend it into the food. So I would put that bad boy in the blender with some vinegar and put it in as a seasoning.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like seasonings. That's what I mean. Like
Yes.
garlic. Okay.
That's different. And I only do that now because I'm a mom, and I realize that most people of color or people from wherever, we really don't incorporate healthy eating, and I want my kids to know it. So that's why I do it now, because I'm like, damn, I wish I knew this stuff before, because I would have been a little bit healthier than what I am now had I known this as a kid. So that's why I do it now. My daughter, she'll do it. My oldest, she'll do it. That middle child, he's like, nope, I don't want it. He's me. He's definitely... I didn't start eating green vegetables till about 4 years ago.
Seriously?
Dead ass. There was no way you was getting something green on my plate for me to eat it.
Not even like lettuce?
Not a goddamn thing.
What vegetables did you eat then?
None. I didn't eat none of them. I didn't eat not a vegetable. I would eat a potato and I would eat corn.
Do potatoes really... There's no nutritional value in corn.
Exactly. You add butter and you add sugar to corn. And potatoes you put in butter to make it sweet. You don't eat sweet corn?
I do eat sweet corn. I put salt and fucking
Well, I put
butter
butter and sugar. I need it a little sweeter. That goes to show you how unhealthy my eating was.
My grandmother put, I want to say it was, I'm not sure if it was cornmeal, but she like pan fried corn on the cob with like, I swear to you, it was like something it was something, and it was like the bombest thing ever. But God, like you can't make corn unhealthier. Like
Listen,
and it was. I tried to recreate it.
Let me tell you something. The first thing I learned to cook was macaroni and cheese, and I was in the 2nd grade. My mom probably worked 3 or 4 jobs all our childhood. So my brother taught me to cook macaroni and cheese, and I would put the corn.
Fredo?
Yeah.
Shout out to Fredo!
Fredo! So my brother taught me how to cook macaroni and cheese when I was in the 2nd grade, and I would put the corn in it. And he taught me how to iron clothes, how to make sure it had a crease down the front. All of his clothes would always have creases if you ever asked me to iron. I love to iron.
It's relaxing.
I love macaroni and cheese. Let me tell you something. Ironing is very relaxing because I have a little tiny bit of OCD. So I want to know that the crease, the 2 pants lines is matched up so you can get that perfect crease in the front of the pants and in the back. So ironing, I don't mind. Just don't ask me to cook. But again, that's not because my mom worked because she felt like, not because she was toxic in that sense, but she had to provide. And so now with me as a mom, I try not to let work and my business consume my motherly duties.
Yeah.
You know, I try to make sure I still make time for them so that they don't feel neglected, they don't feel unwanted. Like last weekend I had a mommy-daughter day with my daughter.
Oh, tomorrow's
This weekend was her twin brother. So me and him, we had our moment this morning. We did breakfast. We went for a haircut. It was just me and him. Usually it's me, him, and his sister. Today was just me and him. We talked about things in the car. Like the questions he asked me, I'm like, damn, he's really like observant to the shit going on in life right now. It's crazy the stuff he's asked me. We could talk about that later.
Older one or?
Amir. And he's 10. Like the questions that he's asked me, I was taken back.
You know what it is? I actually see a lot of myself in him because
really?
Oh yeah. Because you know what it is? He's very quiet. And he just observes. He watches everything.
You know what?
And it's funny. I watch with him. If ever I'm around y'all and I see him, I watch my mouth.
Me too.
Because
let me tell you something.
Because one day I was just saying, I almost said this fucking cunt. I almost said that out loud, and I went this, like stupid person.
Let me tell you something. I don't like quiet people. I've always said this all my life because growing up, which may be a toxic trait also. Growing up, they always said, still rivers run deep.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with quiet people. Because you never know what they're thinking. They are not, you know what? All of them. Because quiet people, you don't know what they're thinking, like I said. And then when they do speak up, you're like, what? Did you just say that? Like you're shocked because they're quote unquote quiet. I don't fuck with quiet people. Nobody in my circle's quiet.
I might be the quietest person in your circle. That's a damn shame.
No, you know what? You know who's the quietest in the circle? Stephanie. But when Stephanie does start to talk, just had her baby boy. Hi, Boo.
She's quiet?
Stephanie's the quietest in the group.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say she was quiet. She's the quietest in the group. But when she speaks, bruh.
You know what it is?
You gotta take your tail between your legs and run.
Yo, she picked her spots.
Yes,
that's what it is. You know what? And that's what I look at when I see Amir. It's kind of like because when he's around like his people, he's not quiet.
Right, but when people he don't know, he lets Amaya go out. She's the sociable one. She'll talk to everybody. She don't care. She's a social butterfly. She's gonna talk to everybody. She's gonna make friends. She's her mama. I'm going out there. I'm talking with everybody, and it's weird because today my hat says antisocial extrovert. Such an oxymoron.
If there has ever been a more contradiction in anything.
I am so not antisocial, but anyway.
You know what it is? You're antisocial to people you don't give a fuck about. Like, it's like...
Not even, like, I will go through a room and I'll introduce myself to people. I'll start
Good morning!
conversation, all of that.
Yeah,
yes.
that's
some people
true.
flock towards it, some people don't. And that's fine because I'm not here to be your friend when I leave. I'm just here so, I'm just being sociable with you to break the ice.
I want this experience to be comfortable for everybody.
Right. That's all it is. I don't want no negative vibes, no negative feelings. It ain't so that when I leave here today, you done got a best friend. No.
My homeboy, my homeboy Jeff that I work with now, someone got mad at him because he said he's not here to make friends.
I'm not.
And Maria said the same thing. She goes, we're not friends. And they were like, what? She goes, no, we're co-workers.
And that's it. I don't make friends at work. There's probably one person at every job that I've had that I've connected with. You from The Gap. I've connected with my homegirl Aixa from The Y. Hi, boo.
What the hell is, you always call her Miss Kim.
Miss Kim? Oh, Heather.
Heather.
That's my baby. Hi, Heather. So, yes.
Heather's cool. I like Heather. Heather's cool.
I call her Miss Swan.
Miss
She
Swan.
reminds me of
That's
Miss
what
Swan.
Miss Swan.
Yes,
That's what it
Miss
is.
Swan. She's from when I used to do bill collecting. And then
She knows Diddy. She knows Diddy, too.
Yes, Small World. And also my homegirl Sandy, she was good people too at the same job. Like we clicked. We were both moms, and Heather's a mom too. We all connected on that.
Just
level.
had a kid like a year ago, right?
He'll be one in November.
Huh?
Yeah, he'll be one in November. So yeah, I don't go to work to make friends. And now the job that I have now, where I don't work with people at all, I only work with the kids, and I only see my supervisor once a month. It's amazing.
Yeah, because you're with the people you want to be with. You like kids.
I want to be with the kids. I don't give two shits about the adults.
I was actually talking about you Thursday because people have this thing. They're like, "Oh, you and Maria should have kids," and I'm like, "Yo, I don't like kids." I was like, "I don't."
But it's crazy. You know what? Not to cut you off, but I feel like the people who say they don't like kids have the best relationships with kids.
You
Well,
know-
not that they don't like kids. They don't want kids. I have a homegirl. She'd be like, "Well, I don't want kids," but the way she works with kids is
You know what it is?
unbelievable.
I don't like kids. I don't like tell me what you want. I hate that born to 5-year-old shit. I hate that. Tell me what the fuck you want. Just tell me what you need.
Kind of reminds me of men.
Huh?
Kind of reminds me of
Kind of
men.
reminds me of women too.
Hey.
You ever try to hey Amanda, what do you want for dinner?
See that's I'm not gonna say all men. I'm gonna fix that and say some men because me, I'm very vocal. You will never have to say that you don't know what I want, when I want it, and how I want it.
That's 100% true.
Because I'm very vocal. If I don't like something, I'm gonna tell you. If I like something, I'm gonna tell you. There's no guessing games with me. I don't have a gray area at all. I either gonna fuck with you or I don't. And if I fuck with you, there's no holding bar. I'm a very vocal person. I'm very honest with you. I'm very upfront. I'm very to the point, and a lot of people can't handle that. So that's when you go into the other part of me not fucking with you. There's no in between.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those women, and I see these memes, and I be like, is it really that hard when your man or somebody asks you what you want to eat? Bruh, I want food. I don't give a fuck where you take me. You want to go get some fries? I'm with it. I ain't picky. You want to go down the road and get some lobster? All right, cool. Let's go.
But you know what it is? There's also a thing where it's so for example with Maria, sometimes it's annoying trying to pick food with her. But the thing about it is, I know what not to get her.
Ta-da!
You know what I mean? So if I'm cooking, I just cook.
But then again, that's because you know her. For someone, for people who would be in the beginning stages of their dating relationship, it would be wise for a woman, if a man asks you what you want to eat, you fucking tell him. It's
you know what's funny
really
about that
not
is?
science.
And you say that, and it's always funny because these are the conversations I have with people. Find out the person you're dealing with. So when I have these conversations with, when I was dating people, and I asked a lot of questions. What do you like to eat?
What don't you like
What
to
don't
eat?
you like to eat? Where's your favorite restaurant? Oh, word? Where's that at? You have these conversations with
Right,
people,
you
so
do.
when you start to build a relationship, whether it be sexually, romantically, or just friendship, you know these things. I love giving gifts because one, it shows the person that I pay attention to the things they do, and I also love the look on people's faces when I get them gifts. So for me,
random.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I mean. So funny story. So we haven't done it the last couple of months, but what we started doing was every month we buy a gift for each other for Christmas. So come Christmas, we're just gonna sit here on the floor, and we're gonna open our gifts.
You know what though? The dope part about that is you guys don't have any kids, so you only have to really buy for yourselves and your families if you want to.
Yeah.
With that being said, I usually start my Christmas shopping for my kids in September because honestly though, my oldest, he just be like, I want money. Alright, good, here you go. Boom. I Google Cash him and he gets his money Christmas Day. Now the twins, you know, they're a little different. The girl, she wants all type of Barbies and this and the third, and the boy, he's into video games. So I get him a gift card.
She plays with Barbies?
She still plays with dolls, yeah.
I just never really picture her as like a doll.
I left home this morning with him to take him on our mommy Sunday, and she was playing with dolls. She was sitting in front of the TV watching Descendants, playing with her doll. She was doing her hair, she was changing her clothes. She's still very innocent, and I like that because that's what she should be doing. She's 10.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with that. I kid you not, I'm perfectly fine with it. I love it. I'd rather her be doing that than talking about what's on Love and Hip Hop. I'll slap you. I don't even watch Love
I can
and Hip Hop.
thankfully say I've never seen an episode of Love
Neither have I. I'm lying. I watched one and I was like, this is trash. It's not for me. I'm not knocking anybody who watches it. It's just not my thing. It's not my cup of tea.
I'm lying. I did watch it one day. I was hungover after my bachelor party. It was me and Diddy and Jeff. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
I can't watch
it.
it.
And like, we just made fun of it for like an hour.
I watched probably half of the episode that I was watching. I was like, this is so tasteless.
Yo, I like Joe Budden, and he's going to be in Love and Hip Hop. I'm still not going to watch it. I don't care. Like this.
The only reality TV show I've ever watched was College Hill, and the only season that I watched was when they were in the Virgin Islands because my girl Vanessa was on there. Hi, Vanessa, baby. Other than that, I've never really been into reality TV. Not my thing.
I'm trying to think. I think the only reality TV that I watch is the WWE Total Divas, and it's only because I sort of kind of watch wrestling. And then when it starts getting real like negative and like talk to them, I'm like, yo, I'm out. Because there's one couple, Naomi and this dude, and her husband. I can't remember. I'm not sure if it's Jimmy or Jay. It doesn't matter. In their relationship, like they have their ups and downs, but it's always real positive. Like, you know what I mean? You at the end of the episode, it's still them loving each other. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I dug that. I dig the fact that they're real goofy with each other and all this other stuff, and they still argue, they still debate, but it's all still out of love. Like, I can watch that.
I could watch something like that too, but I got that real life with Fredo and Kim. I only do TV for that shit.
Oh, they fucking kill me. Are you gonna see either one of them anytime soon?
I saw Fredo yesterday. He took me out for breakfast to celebrate me hiring my first employee for Pandicare.
What? I didn't know you did that.
I didn't tell you? Yes! So, Pandicare has blown up and I haven't had the opportunity to say yes to all my family, so I had to hire help. But anyway.
How fucking dope is that?
Listen,
and again, being happy that your friends are doing something. Yes, how hard is that?
I don't know. It's a humbling experience. It definitely had me second guessing, like, damn, am I really built to be a boss? Like, am I fit for this? Am I ready for this?
What do you think a mother is?
Being a mother is completely different from being a boss because you still have to. As a mother, there's no. I'm lying. There is wiggle room. So you're right. It pretty much is the same. Because I'm still learning this mother thing. I'm still winging this shit. Regardless of how long I've been doing it. I've been a mom for 16 years. And I'm still winging it. Every day I'm learning something new.
And do you know something I can say that I can tell a testament to a mom who always says they're still learning? Because I have friends who are not friends. I know people who their kids are like in their 20s and they're like, I'm still learning.
I'm still learning.
Like,
my oldest is 16 and I'm still learning. And the twins, they're 10. Each one of them have a different personality. Each one of them have different things that motivate them. Each one of them have their personalities that get triggered in certain ways. I'm still learning this. Like he's a junior in high school, and compared to last year when he was a sophomore, he's grown in different ways, and man. I see the changes in him. My fifth graders, I've seen changes in them from last year, from then to now. They're going through that preteen stage where their hormones and their bodies are switching, and with her being the only girl, and needing me right now more in her life than before, where I didn't have any women in my life at that time to really direct me, it's kind of like, okay, what did I want?
And that was funny, now to bring everything back full circle from our original conversation, is you're taking a step to end that cycle of toxic relationships. So now, like your
so
daughter
now I
is
can
not...
be a better mom to my daughter, and I can be a better mom to my sons, because that's what life is. It's supposed to be about improving, you know. And I saw the way that my mom did with my brother, and I saw the way she did with me, and so now as a mother, a single mother, just like she was, I would like to break that cycle and be able to communicate with them, know what's going on in their lives, know what type of challenges they're facing every day, know what type of relationships they're building in school, what type of relationships they're not building in school, why aren't you building these relationships, what's stopping you from building these types of relationships, all of that. Society, the world has changed in society. You know what? My kids are going through different things that I probably went through as a 10-year-old or as a junior. I remember my junior year in high school. I remember what the boys were like in high school and junior year. Has it changed from then to now? Maybe a little, not by much. Has it changed as far as females?
We still horny and trash.
Right. Right. And experimenting and exploring.
Yo, can I tell you, I'm glad that there was no camera phones when I was in high school.
Listen,
yo,
my
my dick would be all over the fucking internet.
Oh my god. I did not.
And that's been the old man Wade show. and you thought you weren't gonna have anything to say.
I know.
I want to shout out to Panda Care. Promote it for me, please.
Do what?
Promote it.
Oh, I didn't promote it. Listen, don't judge me. All right. So Panda Care, we primarily focus on evening and weekend babysitting when parents more than likely need it the most. I can be reached on Facebook at Panda Care. I can be reached on Instagram. Panda Care is for you. PANDACARES. The number 4. The letter U, and the email is pandacaresforyou@gmail.com, and my number is 857-342-5070. And we also do pickups and drop-offs. If you need your kid to be taken to after-school programs, you need your child to be taken to school, the bus stop is too early, all that fun stuff.
Alright, just to let you guys know, I got some Old Man Wade show swag. We will be announcing a winner to the contest. You win a book from Steve Van Sampson. His book, The Bone Eater King and Marrow Dust, will be giving out one of each. I have some Old Man Wade show keychains. One says Old Man Wade show, the other one says Damn It Wade. I will have some within the next few months that say Super Woke.
For hobby.
I have some that say Super Woke. But yeah, so this has been the Old Man Wade show. I want to thank Amanda for coming in. This might go out on tomorrow, actually. I think I'm about to put this out.
Do it tonight.
Okay, well, apparently I'm putting this out tonight. You know what I want to hear?
Damn it, Wade.
Damn it, Wade.